Hello, everyone. Welcome to the book review, Letting Go, The Pathway to Surrender. We are in chapter 4. We are talking about apathy and depression. And today, the subtopic is choosing the positive. So, we all have a higher self within us who is much more powerful than the inner negativity. It's just that we don't know. We are not aware of it. It's not that if you see somebody who is extremely, peaceful, who feels like very positive, very confident, it does not mean that their higher self is better than my higher self. We all have Aham Brahmasmi, right? Advaita philosophy says we are all one, same consciousness, one consciousness. You, me, your higher self, my higher self, we are all the same. Then how is it that you are way better than me and I am feeling like so depressed and so bad just because I haven't identified it? It's like, let's say I told you that this is nectar, Amritam, right? If I did not tell you, there is a tea, there is a cup of tea here, you chose not to drink tea. And I'll say that, hey, I think you should drink this tea, it's good for you. I'm like, yeah, right. I'm not a tea person. I'll drink coffee instead. The thing is, we all get that is an opportunity. God or universe has sent me to give you that message that, hey, drink that. It will help you. But out of whatever, out of our ego, out of our like, yeah, she's all into this tea stuff and everything. I'm a coffee person. I don't drink that. Instead, if we are open minded, we are like, why did she say that? Once we come to acceptance, right, we see every single thing as an opportunity in front of us. If I lost my job, if I lost this, if somebody betrayed me, if somebody said bad things about me, I'm like, why did that happen? You will become into the curiosity mode. Why did this happen now? I know this person for a very long time, my friend for a very long time. They never did this before. Why now? Once you get into, you will be able to get into the curiosity mode only when you're accepting and you're like, you're looking for opportunity in everything to learn and grow, right? We all have our higher self. It's just that once you admit that I have a higher self and it is God, it does not matter. It is no less than a God. Like whoever your God, favorite God, Hanuman, Ganesha, whoever it is, Jesus, whoever it is, my higher self is that God. I have at my disposal only for me, customized selectively. I used, when I was growing up, I used to think my mom used to pray, and my mom does a lot of these offerings to God that God, when my kid is sick, like, she'll say, remove this ailment from my kid. I will make this for you. I will make a trip to this temple. It's like I always thought that she was bribing God. It's like, and you know what? Actually, you're bribing God. Let's say you'll say that I will offer so much. What if another person comes up and offers more than you? So will God? Obviously, the prayer. I'm a very, very logical person. I said, how does this work? Right? How does these offerings to God, bribing God, work? And obviously, like if God is like anybody else, if you are God and I am God, if somebody is offering me $100 to do the same thing and somebody says, you know what, cure my kid and I will give you $200, obviously I'll go towards $200, right? Why am I saving your kid versus the other kid? I thought so black and white and logically. But the thing is, our God, we all have our own God, and our higher self is completely customized. Their only job is to protect you, is to lift you, is to elevate you. Only job. They are like 24/7. They don't sleep. It's it's like you have this highly empowered, how I used to say that, Deepika Padukone and all, their weight loss is easy because they have trainer, they have nutritionist, they have somebody watching their every step, like, hey, you don't eat this, you cannot eat this, you have a movie coming up, you cannot do this, you have to wear a bikini short, so you cannot do that, you cannot gain 1 micro inch of weight around your waist. I used to tell my husband that, what, if I have all those provisions, right, I'll be skinny as well. But it is like that, you have at your disposal whatever you want. A personal trainer, you want to lose weight, your higher self is you will become your personal trainer, will become your personal nutritionist, will become your personal chef cooking nutritious values for you, will become your, like, clothing designer if you want to look good. And think of anything, any wish, it will be granted because your higher self job is to do that. Your higher self's job is to grant you any wish and every wish that you ever have. Just that you have to realize that you have the higher self, you have to connect to the real higher self. right? The letting go whole concept is let go of all the negative emotions so that I have a direct. Right now, the connection is there, but we are not realizing it. For us to realize the connection, it's not that the connection is lost. We are not realizing the connection. It's like prana, right? We are breathing. I have life in my body. But you know how we talk about some people are lifeless, they're so gloomy. It's not that there is there is no life in them. It's just that they're not realizing they have life in them. Actually, if you see people, right, with their depression and anxiety and all that, they become so, what do you call it? They cannot walk, they cannot move out of their bed. They feel like I cannot move. But physically, if you make a strength test to them, they're perfectly fine. They're very strong. If you take here, we have in our neighborhood uncle who is 92 years old. He goes for a walk every day. If you check his strength versus a 20-year-old who is depressed, physically, obviously the 20-year-old strength will be way more than the 90-year-old man. But that person has the willingness to go out, get no matter what. Uncle walks very slow, no matter what. Every day he'll go for 2 hours of walk. 2 hours means a lot, but he walks very slowly. He goes around the park twice and comes, but it takes 2 hours for him to do all that. He will meet everybody. He will stop at every house. He will say hello to everybody. That zeal in life, that positivity, right? That is what makes his connection to higher self way stronger than the 20-year-old's connection, right? So that is what it is. So we all have a higher self, custom made, custom created. Only job is to take care of you. As long as you let them take care of you. It is like that. It is in front of you. You have to use it, right? I have a Tylenol in front of me. Unless I take it, it won't help me lose the pain. It's as simple as that. So when you let go of the payoffs, we talked about what are the payoffs, right? What are the payoffs for anxiety and depression? When we let go of the payoffs that we get from the negative position, and we all have to agree, when I'm sitting, people show me sympathy. When I say I cannot do this, I get the work done by others. Unfortunately, the problem is we are not seeing those as payoffs. We are not seeing that we are unconsciously choosing that position, that negative position, that negative context, so that we can get that sympathy, so that we can get that importance, because we don't feel important enough. That if I don't do all those things, am I important enough? Will you take care of me? Will you respect me enough? Right? If you let go of the payoffs, then we get the positive. You don't even have to reach and do something extra to get the positive payoffs. The moment you let go of the negative payoffs, the positive payoffs automatically show up for you. They stem from the power of our positive feelings, right? Once you let go of blame, you experience forgiveness. We talked about this, right? Once you let go of blame, you experience forgiveness. It is not saying that we are holding on to blame. It is not saying that let go of blame and hold on to something else. It is not saying that. It is just saying that let go of the blame, you will automatically experience forgiveness. You don't have to do anything else separately. You don't have to put an effort towards it. You automatically experience forgiveness, right? So yeah, it is. So basically choose positivity, right? Higher self, literally your higher self. If you are this is your higher self. You cannot even imagine the magnanimity of the higher self, of your higher self, right? Not somebody else's higher self. I'm not talking about Mother Teresa's higher self. I'm not talking about Mahatma Gandhi's higher self. I'm talking about my higher self. This is my higher self, not anybody else's. I could have been the worst person in my life. I could have been the most negative person in my life. Maybe I could have been in depression all my life. Doesn't matter. This is my higher self. This is my capability, right? But so what is higher self? It is composite of our higher feelings. They are there. The higher feelings are here. We are here. It is not that we don't have. It's not that if you think about your entire life, right? Look at your entire life. Did you ever feel happy? No matter how many hardships you have in your life. Some people say my whole life has been hardships. No, it is not like that. If it is like that, you will not have motivation to live. God always makes sure that there are, some hardships, then happiness, hardships, happiness, hardships, happiness. Those hardships are the ones that make you grow, right? So you definitely have. I don't know your biography, your life story. I don't care what it is, but I can now tell me everything. I will point out the higher things you had in the year. You had, and you experienced all the higher emotions. You did forgive somebody. You did do help somebody. You like, you were like loving somebody. You were willing to help somebody. You all had the positive feelings. When you had those positive feelings, you did experience higher feelings. That composite of all those higher feelings is your higher self. So again, it is within you, right? Now, that higher self, as I said, has unlimited capabilities. He can be whatever you want. She can be whatever you want, right? The higher self can create situations for healing relationships, financial opportunities, job loss, employment opportunities, healing pain, everything. Think of anything. You can say that, oh, I have so much pain only if I have a personal masseuse with me who would give me massage. Whenever, a lot of people say, whenever I go to physical therapy, they do a massage, they do the personal exercises. That time it feels good. For the next 1 or 2 hours, it feels good. But once I come back, again, it builds up. What if you had a personal physical therapist at home at hand every day to check you and say, hey, you're bending the wrong way, don't bend the wrong way. You're lifting the weight wrong way, don't lift the weight wrong way. What if you had a walking, talking physical therapist for somebody who has back pain? How cool the life will be, right? We have that. That is our higher self. If you are tuned to yourself, whatever your physical therapist said, okay, let me tell you even this. Your higher self is like the sponge who can absorb. And now with all the AI, right? Consider it as a robot who can absorb everything and anything. You went to your doctor or a nutritionist and they said, hey, eat so many grams of protein. Don't eat more than this amount of fats. Eat complex carbohydrates. They absorb everything. And they are your personal chef, personal assistant, personal thing. They will say, your body always tells you. When your doctor says, let's say you have high blood pressure, your doctor says, don't eat spicy food, don't eat too much salt. Whenever you are eating salty food, your consciousness tells you, you will get that, and people even state that, you know what, I have high blood pressure. I'm not supposed to eat this, but I'm still eating it. Come on, man, enjoy life. Why not it? So, your consciousness is already telling you. It's about how much do you want to be reciprocative to it, how much you want to listen to it, how much you want to take advantage of it. Let's say, again, a movie star who is maintaining a perfectly fit body with all the bells and whistles of a personal trainer, nutritionist, and everything, versus me. Let's say you provide me all those things. You say, you know what, you have won a lottery 1 week, you will get the same movie stars, nutritionists, and all these people. Do I have what it takes to follow all that what they are doing? What is their motivator? Their motivator is millions of dollars in fee, in their job salary, getting paid for a movie. They have to look good. That is their motivator. So they will do whatever the trainer, the nutritionist is telling them to do. Will you do it? If the same people are given to you, will you do it? Why? Because I'm not telling you that you will get $1 million paid. I'm not telling you that you will be able to act in this movie. Nothing. I'm just, for your good, well, health, being, will you do it? No, we won't do it, right? We'll not do it. What's the motivator? You all need a motivator, right? So it's that our negative feelings have the authority over us, because what is the payoff? You want the pleasure of enjoying the chips. That is the payoff. That is the negative payoff. You are willing to enjoy, given to the enjoyment, pleasure of eating chips, watching TV, binge watching TV, or whatever, instead of a positive thing that you could do, right? We are choosing it. Now, once you stop giving authority to the negative stuff, right, then you will get your power back again. You will become the power, get the power back, and you will have the courage to do everything. What does that power result in? It results in self-esteem. You will start looking good. You will start feeling good. And when you feel good and when you look good, it will it will result in a rise of creativity, because you have good energy, good these things and everything. You will start saying, okay, now that I have all this energy, I feel great about it. What can I create? Because at the end, the purpose of everybody's life, no matter who you are, what you are, how old you are, how young you are, your purpose in life is to create something with the unique skill set that is given to you. No two people are like they say, no two snowflakes are like, right? Like that, no two people are alike. We both could have studied in the same schools, same neighborhood, grew up in the same neighborhood. Our parents could have been same, let's say, bank employees or whatever, and we studied in the same schools. We are doing exactly same job. We are working in the same company. We both are programmers. Still, we both are different. What you can create versus what I can, my hobbies and your hobbies can be different, right? So our job, our purpose of life is to create something with the unique skill set that is given to us. And that will, we can even think of that creativity only when we get our power back, letting go of our negative patterns, right? And it opens to a positive vision. We all are visionaries. Given that you see, first you have to see, right? What is it that I can do? And if you don't know what you can do, when you open your eyes and you're aware of your surroundings, you will see a problem and you'll figure out how to solve it. That is your contribution, right? So let's experiment with a poor relationship, right? When you experiment with a poor relationship, how to let go of the payoffs and how to come back and own this thing back, right? Now, when you see a poor relationship, when you are very angry with a person, you're like, why am I angry with that person? What is my anger covering up? You will see when you look at that, when you start noticing it, you will see that there is fear behind it. And there could be jealousy behind it, right? It's like, we are best friends, but I see that she's growing so high. She's like become VP of this company. I did not. I'm just sitting here. That is jealousy. And the other thing is, I think I might lose her as a friend. I have grown up with her completely, but now that she's at very high stakes, she's very busy. She won't have time for me. And she will realize that I'm not growing in my life. So what if she will let go of me? She will not want to spend time with me anymore, right? So when you see what is it that's actually behind these things, right? That is fear and jealousy, right? Now, when you see what is behind those things, it is competitiveness because I'm competing with her in some level, right? Now, once you let go of that competitiveness, you'll see in underneath what. So basically, we are doing an experiment, right? What is behind it? What is behind it? What is behind it? So we'll see the components of feeling complex. I feel inferior to you, inferiority complex, or I feel superior to you, whatever, right? And that is the one that is causing the blocks in the relationship, right? Now, once I let go of all those things, right? And the thing is, the more it's like divide and conquer. The more, if I give you a spaghetti ball, it's like if I give you a rope and I made it into like a lot of, convoluted ball, and ask you, hey, you have to untie all these things, right? Twisted, tangled knot. You cannot handle the whole thing and do it. You have to find one string. You have to find one string and slowly loosen it up and see what it is entangled to. Focus only on that one string, not on anything else, not on the entire ball. You got one string. How can I take out this one string? Sometimes you see that is entangled with a lot of other things. Let me take out, loosen this, loosen that, loosen that. Then let me pull it more. Then loosen a little bit more. Then pull it more. That is what we are doing here, right? What is it actually behind each thing? We are looking at each of thing and you're letting go. You're untying only that one knot. You're loosening that string. That string has loosened up. I actually played this called game called Twisted Tangle on iPhone, which is super awesome. The more I play, I play a lot of games on my phone. I have to. I play a lot of games. So when I play, what I feel like is any problem I get in my life, it is like that. And the harder level right now, I'll tell you which level I'm in. I'm in 1800 level or something. I'm just telling you how much I play games on my phone. So the harder level it becomes, the more convoluted the knots become. It's like when you see it, and there is only one opening. Usually there is one opening cell. You have to put one thread in there so that it opens up something, right? There is only one opening cell. That means there is only one opportunity. In the entangled knot, there is one thread out. You pull that out and everything, it won't come out because it has been like sucked up by all the other things. You slowly loosen it. You let go of small knots, then it will keep coming out little by little. You need to have patience. You need to have perseverance. Otherwise, it won't work. Letting go will not work like this. And let's say today you have, like, you saw this, okay, one thing you quickly, I give you a very, very easy example of the friend I grew up with, right? But it is more convoluted when you are married to somebody, or when you're living with somebody, or when a boss or somebody. Like, sometimes the relationship is even more complex. The more convoluted it becomes, the more patience and perseverance you need to have. If you are willing, you want to get out of it, you need to have more patience and perseverance. So you let go of negative feelings. So there are two things. Remember, we talked about letting go is not just letting go of negative feelings, it is also letting go of resistance to positive results. Oftentimes we'll be like, you can have the best relationship with this person, the most loving relationship with this person. That's impossible. Wife and husband always fight. We are so much with all the beliefs of our society, of what we saw, like, all those things. Later, actually, the next chapter is the company we keep. That impacts a lot of how you think. Satsangatyam, right? If you don't have satsangatyam means good relationships, good friendships. If you don't have good friendships, you always, if you're listening to bad things, if you're listening to negative things, that will create your belief system. That belief system will not let you let go of the resistance to positive at all. There is positive, provided you are willing to say, I can have a good relationship, I can have a loving relationship. You need to embrace that positivity. Only if you, so you need to let go of negative feelings, and you need to let go of the resistance to positive result. Then what happens? You'll automatically see a shift of inner energies. When you see the shift of inner energies, you will feel self-esteem. You'll feel proud. I can do this. And I'm not telling you, it's an aha moment. Every time you do something, you achieve, like for kids, right? Amma, I finished this. In this test, I got an A. It is an aha moment for them. That is become a motivator for them. Next time, I think I can get again an A in the next one. So they'll go and study more. The whole concept of school system and grading system is like that. You can see it that way. But most parents, they talk about, oh my God, these grades are making kids stressful and all that. You can see it in the positive way. The more you get good results, the more it motivates you to do more and more, right? For us also, it is like that. It's a reward system. The more you have that shift in your inner energies, the more self-esteem you get, the more you resolve one problem, you'll be like, you know what, I did that, I think I can do this. Now you will become curious. The whole point is you have to become curious. Let's say you fixed a relationship with a friend. Now it's like,
Bless you.
so let's say you fixed a relationship with one person, right? Now you're like, let me see if I can fix my relationship with my employer. Let me see if I can fix my relationship with my husband. Let's see if I can fix my relationship with my mother. Let's see if I can fix my relationship with my sister, with my neighbor. You will become curious. Shall I imply the same rules and see if I can succeed there? Each one, as you succeed, it's like literally a feather in your cap. You'll feel great about it. Now you want to test. Now you want to advise. Like Neha was saying, she has a friend. Let's say she helped her friend and she literally saw the transformation. Wow, this works. And next time we are filled with people around us to help. If you really want to help, so many poor relationships around us, help them. If you don't have any poor relationships, go and help other people who have, right? So the other person need not, again, to fix any relationship, the other person need not get it or need not be present in all this experiment. It's only about you. They need not participate. They can be the exact same person they are always. They need not change. You have to change. Okay? It is enough if we get it, right? So once we get that, once we let go of these things, you sit back and watch. You'll be amazed. You'll be amazed. That's the beauty of it, right? If for me, all the books I read and all these things I do, my families are lab rats. I experiment on them. The other day I was talking to my cousin and I told her that I started doing shadow work. It is amazing. People are finding so many, like, great things about themselves, and they are having so much results and everything. And when I started, I was thinking like how to build this program, right? I read like literally 4 books on shadow work and 3 other systems and everything. I wanted to mix everything and do one workshop kind of thing. So I called her and I said, I'm experimenting shadow work on my mom. She's like, oh my God, you poor auntie, why are you doing this and all that? So I experiment. If I don't have anything in my life, I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of people who come to me asking for help, and I experiment with them. And if you actually if they talk among themselves, right? If somebody came to me with their health issues like 1 year ago versus now, the advice I give is very different because I have matured. I have become wiser with all these books, reading all these books and everything. So I keep experimenting whatever I learn on the people I interact with to see like how it works out, right? So it's like that. So I'm telling you, if you don't have a poor relationship, try it on somebody else, advise somebody else, or even observe, right? And see what happens. So when we, again, as I said, other person need not get it. When we sit back and watch, we are moving our own position in that matter, right? Because there is a saying that Tali ek hath se nahi bajti. You need both hands for the sound. If you stand here, will there be a fight? There will not be a fight. Just that because we are like this, it's getting more convoluted. So if this person, the more you like this, you are like releasing yourself, you are letting go, letting go, letting go. You came here, now you're here and watching. This person can still be like this. This person need not change. You are changing. You are receding. You are going away. Now you're watching, you're observing, right? You have let go. When you let go, this person can be like this. It need not change. The person need not change. You will have a great release. You will have a very rewarding experience. So again, you never need another person. It's only you. Everything can be done with only you. And the best part is we can heal past. We can heal the past. Why? Because the thing is, whenever things have happened in the past, right? Let's say your loved one passed away a few years ago, 1 year ago, 5 months ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Maybe you had a dog which passed away when you were 5 and you're 80 now, right? And that moment put a scar on you. It became an unconscious thing. You're holding on to it. And let's say you created a fear for, I don't want to get so close to anybody because I might lose them and I might grieve. So maybe you created that nature of distancing yourself because of that experience. But unfortunately, you won't remember that. Or nobody even pays attention to it. So, but how can you still take care of it? So, cause for apathy. So now we have talked about apathy and depression and how to initially work on letting go of, like, using the escape mechanisms or anything to remove the edge off. Once that is done, how to handle apathy, how to go from apathy to courage, all that we have seen. Now we are looking at removing all the residuals of that apathy and depression completely from your mind, body, and soul. So residual of unsolved past traumatic overwhelm. So you can tell that, let's say somebody, you're looking at somebody, you're like, why do they have depression? What is wrong with them? Like, you have seen all these movie stars, right? Deepika Padukone talked about depression, then Hrithik Roshan came and talked about depression. Like, how? They have been acting in movies, they have been doing all the photo shoots and everything. They look happy, they are earning a lot of money, they have everything. Why? I mean, it doesn't make sense. This is all a facade. They are like, just this is another, what do you call it? They want popularity in media. That's why they are doing this. No, the cause for apathy need not be, right now, I don't need to have a loss. Right now, I don't need to have bad things happen in my life. I could have triggers from all the things that happened in the past life, like when I was growing up, even past lives. I mean, I don't want to go there because some people don't believe in past lives, but you could be carrying it from past lives, or forget about past life. Let's talk only about this life. You could have little things. Your maybe dog died, or you were very close to a friend or a neighbor and you moved the house. Your father had a transfer or something and you moved that location and you really grieved the loss of a friend. Like, I cannot talk to that person anymore. And friendship and neighborhood and job loss and relationship loss. You had you loved somebody so dearly and that person did not reciprocate, or maybe that person got married to somebody else, your heartbreak, all these things, right? Everybody has those scars in their lives. They move on at that moment, you feel like you moved on, but that residuals remain. There is little bit of it that you didn't let go of it completely, that remain, that could also cause apathy, right? Now, residual of unresolved past traumatic, now we'll see about how to deal with those things, right? Now, mind projects expecting the past to repeat. So what will happen whenever those things trigger, right? Let's say we have to watch our behaviors. You yourself can talk and say that whenever I hear somebody dying, some close relative or some, not mine, somebody dying, somehow something happens in me. I become all gloomy. I don't feel like going to work. Why? Because it is connected to maybe something happened, or maybe you reacted this way when somebody died in your family. Mind, what it is doing is, it is like, oh, this is a trigger. She's feeling lost. Now I have to quickly, what is the experience? When that loss happened, what happened? She went into a shell. She did not talk to anybody. She did not go to work, or she did not go to school, right? Now let me repeat that. Mind tries to project the past things that it remembers. Now we have to change that. We have to rewrite that, right? Now, look again at the emotional complex, right? Now, when that happens, when you feel, and we all know our patterns, we always talk like very proudly about it. Oh, this always happens to me. Whenever the season changes, I get catch cold. Whenever this, how come that only some people are catching cold and not everybody? And the fun part is, somebody who is like very strong, right? Physically very strong, very nutritious, very healthy, that person can catch cold, but a person who is always sick, they will not get cold. COVID, that's what we saw, right? Like there was no rhyme or reason on why some people got COVID versus not in the same family. So, so what happens is, there are some past things that we are not aware of. They're in our unconscious mind. Now we look into it. We look again at the emotional complex. We like disassemble, right? Break it into parts. Why is this happening to me, right? Small components. Now let go of the negative aspects towards it. Let go of the negative aspects towards it. Just because, yes, I experienced this trauma when my dog passed away when I was 5 years old, who I loved a lot. But in this moment right now, what can I do about it? It's already done in the past. I cannot bring it back, right? So let go of the attachment towards that dog first, right? Letting go of the attachment does not mean you let go of the love you had for the dog. Letting go does not mean you forget the relationship you shared with the dog. Letting go does not mean you will forget the great times you had. Letting go means actually you're letting go of because you are, what's happening is, when we are remembering, we have this thing that, let's say somebody's spouse passed away. They lived actually, here, most of my mom's friends here, like grandparents and everybody, my parents' generation, they are losing a spouse, like either the wife passes away or husband passes away with age. They have lived together for so many years, 50 years sometimes. They became one. They cannot think of their existence without the other person, right? Everything they do, every corner they go. We used to eat lunch together. We used to drink tea together at 4 o'clock. We used to take walks together. It is very, very difficult for them to deal with that grief, right? They feel that if I don't hold on to the pain, if I'm not crying, that means I'm forgetting that person. If I'm laughing, if I'm enjoying life, that means I'm forgetting that person. There is this thing. I have seen that in a few people here. It does not mean that. Let me tell you this. The person who passed away, when you love them so much, they loved you so much, do they want to see you happy or sad? They want to see you happy, right? Let's say your mother passed away, your father passed away, your sibling passed away, something. They want to see you happy. They want to remember you in the positive way, how you were when they were alive. If you become lifeless, in the pain and grieving that they are gone, their soul or something is watching you. Do you think they're happy? There is this conception that, oh, if I don't grieve my dad, if I don't cry and think about my dad, then he will think that I'm not thinking about him. Why are you thinking like that? My dad wants to see me happy, not crying and walling over and worrying about the past, right? He wants to see me happy. Just because I'm happy and moved on from the grave does not mean I lost the love for my dad. It's always there. It will always be there. That relationship we shared will always be there. The memories will always be there. If we are doing like this with the pain and suffering and everything, we are not doing good for anybody. And actually, it's a disservice to the person who loved you. They passed away, their soul is watching you, or universe is watching you. So you are actually associating, you're saying that because my dad died, I became like this. You're actually blaming the person. Because my wife died, I cannot be happy. Because my husband died, I cannot do this. I cannot enjoy this anymore. I used to go watch movies with my husband. I cannot watch anymore because it's our thing. No. When you are more and more sad, you're associating that sadness to the person who left you, which is not fair. When they were there, you were so happy. When they're not there, I'm not saying that the day they passed away, you go and jump it. Not, I'm not talking like that. Take the course, like, grieve, everything is done, but don't hold on to it your entire life. And even if you're holding on to, let's say, actually, yesterday I watched this movie, Masti Mein Rehne Ka, Jackie Shroff and Neena Gupta. Both are single, both Neena Gupta's husband passed away and she lives alone in India, and Jack Shroff's wife passed away. And that is what they literally show. It's like life happens to you, but how you deal with it. So let's say we have all these past residual things from all these scars we had, right? Now disassemble them into components part and say that what is it that I'm holding on to, right? Let go of the negative aspects of it. Now, once and then let go of the resistance to the positive ones. Let go of the thing, first let go of the negative aspects and let go of the thing that I can never be happy anymore. That means you're resisting any happiness to come into your life. Don't do that. When you let go of the possibility that something good can happen for me, then positive aspects will show up in front of you. You will find a friend, you will find another dog, you will find another job, you will find another girlfriend. Do you think in the world there is nobody who had a heartbreak and moved on and married somebody and lived their life happily? Why is it that some people are able to do it and some are not? Because they're holding on to the past, right? Once our future perspective changes, what happens is we will forgive ourselves for being so hard on us that we could not handle it better. We are also, in a way, when you are in pain of loss or something, right? You are also looking at other people who are managing it well, and you're like, how come they are doing it so well? How come I'm not able to do this? You're so hard on yourself. But once you slowly let go of things, you will forgive yourself also that, okay, at that time, given what I know, this is what I did. It's okay, right? And the best part is the unconscious mind, right? It is not time bound. So if you let go of it now, irrespective of when it happened, you can let go of it now as well. You cannot say that when, let's say, um, your dog died when you were like 5 years or 10 years old, and now you went into some kind of state that I can never let anybody come close to me, or I will never get so close to anybody because it leads in heartbreak. And because of that, let's say you're not having good relationships because you're not giving in completely. Now you have seen your neighbor's son or somebody go through the same experience, that they lost their dog. And then you see how that kid has handled it very well. And then you'll be like, oh my God, I could have handled it that way. My life would have been so different. Okay, at least you saw now. After 50 years, you saw now. Why don't you implement it now? You still have life. Even if you live for one more day, live it fully, right? You still have one more day. You are still living. You are not like dying tomorrow. Or maybe even if you know that you're dying tomorrow, change today, right? You will take that lesson with you to your next life. You need not continue learning that lesson in the next life. You have completed, graduated that lesson, right? There were a lot of residuals that left us emotionally disabled at that time. Whenever those incidents happened, we can choose at any time in the present to heal the past event. Past event takes a new meaning when we go through the emotional healing. Any emotional healings you go through, you have become wiser. You have added more things to your degrees, more degrees to your resume or whatever, education, life on earth, right? Your higher self begins to create a new context for it, right? Your higher self, once you change your context, you change your perspective, your higher self will rewrite the past experiences. Now any loss happens, it will say, now you know how to deal with this. Let me help you deal with it. Next loss, something happens in your life. You won't go through the same triggers of how it happened. Now you'll change it because you're a changed person, right? We can see the hidden gift. Actually, if you see whatever happened to you that helped you come out of it, that is the one that made you learn this lesson. That loss had to happen for you to learn this lesson. So there is a hidden gift in it. There is a hidden gift in everything that happens in our life. We don't know how to see the hidden gifts. If we see it, life will be beautiful, right? Once you see the hidden gifts, there are opportunities to grow and learn, right? So when you're, let's go to relationships, right? When you're suffering in relationships, ask these questions. How long will I pay the cost? How long will I hang on to it? And in any relationship, there are often red flags. We choose to ignore it. Why? Because when you draw the pros and cons of any relationship, if you're staying in a relationship, always your pros, my pros and cons can be different from yours. You could be watching me and say, what the hell is she doing? I know what she's doing is wrong. I know she should come out of that relationship. I know she should do this. Everybody will be telling, everybody around you, all your well-wishers will be telling that. You will still be in that relationship. Why? It is, and you need not play the victim card here because you're not a victim. You're choosing your pros and cons. Somewhere your your payoff, what you're getting is higher than your cons. That's why you're staying in that relationship. Otherwise, you wouldn't stay. Our entire human life, whatever we are doing, when you draw the pros and cons, your definition of pros are higher than the cons. That's why you're doing what you're doing. You are getting a payoff. You are getting something that you are not consciously realizing that you're getting it, and you're enjoying it. You are enjoying it. You won't, that suffering, sulking is getting the attention of others. That's why you're enjoying it. That's what you're enjoying it. Otherwise, you'll feel that I'm not good enough, that people will come and take care of me. If I am a sad being, they'll come and show sympathy. They'll come and do all these things. That's when I will feel a little better about myself, because I personally don't feel better about myself. There is some payoff somewhere. It's just that we don't acknowledge it. So what am I holding on to? And is it worth holding on to this to get the sympathy, or just get out of it, right? What is the cost are you paying to get that attention? You are manifesting all the diseases and all the pain and all the suffering. Why, right? You have to look into that. What were the karmic propensities to begin with? What karma? And again, this is a thing, right? About karma, people will say, I did something bad in my past life, that's why I'm dealing with this. The process of dealing with your karma, while there is a choice on not to add more negative karma to it. Let's say I did something wrong. I was a robber, I was a murderer, something major, or very simple, I hurted somebody very badly. I was a mother-in-law, I was a something, I was a daughter-in-law who hurt the mother-in-law a lot. Something I did in my past life. Bhugatna padega. I have to pay back, right? That is karma. I have to experience all that. While experiencing all those things, I am living my karma, right? While living my karma, I have a choice. Am I adding more negative karma, or I'm making it a learning experience so that I will not repeat that bad thing again, and I'm getting out of it. I'm getting out of the cycle of bad karma and good karma, right? So it's a choice. When we are aware, when we are conscious, when we are living in this moment, that's when you can make those decisions. Is there a time to call an end to it? How much sacrifice am I willing to pay to the other person for their wrongs, real or imaginary? Again, here they say real or imaginary because it could be real or it could be my imagination, my projection, right? How much guilt, blame, self-punishment is enough? When does the sentence come to an end? You are giving yourself a death sentence when you're suffering in relationships, right? When am I going to get out of all these things? Ask all these questions. When you ask these questions, it will help you see things that It's called Vichakshana Jnana. That means wisdom to discriminate between what is good and what is bad. What is a negative payoff? What is a positive payoff? Discrimination that will come only when you're critically thinking, when you're critically aware, you're asking these questions. You're not just taking life as it is coming to you. And life never comes to you in a bad or a good way. Life happens. It is with our belief systems that we paint a picture of dark, black, or white. We make it a good or a bad experience. Right? Now, ignore the red flags, right? When we really examine it, we will always find that we have been punishing ourselves for ignorance, naivety, innocence, and lack of inner education. Again, it is not to blame me or blame you. Like if you are the person who has been torturing me, you are not at fault. I am not at fault too, because I was innocent. I was ignorant. I did not know this could be done. Nobody taught me anything, right? So when you actually examine, ask all those questions, you will realize that I was so ignorant at that time that I could have come out of this relationship. And it's never too late. You can do it now. Or I was so ignorant that I could let go of my ego and patch this up. Either way, you can patch up a relationship or you can get out of it, whatever it is, right? I did not know, I did not have all these tools of letting go. I did not have all these tools of inner work or spiritual journey. That's why I was like that at that time. It's okay, right? Stop beating yourself up. When was I ever trained in the techniques of emotional self-healing? When we went to school, they taught us science, biology, history, geography. Nobody taught us how to deal with our emotions. Nobody even taught us what emotions you go through when certain situations happen and what are positive emotions, what are negative emotions, right? Who taught me courses on consciousness? Nobody did. I didn't know all these things before, right? I did not know that I had the freedom to choose what went on in my mind. I have been getting the red flags, I have been getting signals, but I was like, oh, this is not the right thing to do because my parents always said this is how you should do it. My spouse always said this is how you should do it. My employer said this is how you do it. My neighbor said this is how you, that guru said this is how, the media said, the movie said, right? I did not know. I could refuse all the negative programming. Nobody taught me. What are the laws of consciousness? Nobody gave me this. Now that you are getting these, implement this in your life and make it beautiful. It is okay. Stop beating yourself up. Stop complaining about others. Stop saying that, oh, I grew up in a very, very bad childhood. I grew up in slums. I grew up in a place where everybody fights with everybody, or, very bad negative environment. There are people, diamonds, who came out of that. I'm not saying be exceptionally, you don't have to, again, that overwhelms you when I say, like, become like somebody like that. So negative programs, right? We have been programmed without our assent. Nobody asked us. When you grow up in a certain environment, when you grow up in a certain neighborhood, when you grow up in a certain place, when you are taught, even your school teachers, right? They are teaching you the subjects, but based on what is going on in their life, you will see their demeanor. You'll be like, oh, if this happens, this is what it is. You absorb all those things. Nobody asked our permission to put those negative programs on us. We are sitting there, we are absorbing everything. Like kids are like sponges, right? They absorb everything that comes. Good, bad, they don't know the discrimination. So based on how I grew up, all those negative programs have been injected into my head, my consciousness, without my knowledge. With nobody asked me, do you want this? Hey, this is good, this is bad. Do you want this? Or nobody asked me that, right? We bought into the negative programs because we were confused, ignorant, and innocent. Again, there is nothing wrong with it. You didn't have a choice. Now you have a choice. Now we can choose to stop, go through a different direction, to become more aware, more conscious, and more responsible, right? Refuse to accept whatever world hands us, right? World says this is what it is. No, I don't want to. At that time, it seemed like a good idea. Because see, we all have our favorite teachers. We all have our favorite uncle around. We always have our favorite grandma or grandpa or anything, neighborhood, movie star. When we watch them, We follow them so blindly. Whatever they do in their life, we feel like, we get influenced by it. At that time, oh, because this person is doing this, I'll do this. Right? I'll give you an example. Let's say you follow a movie actress. You're really like, like that person. They will put, these days, they are putting their every diet, their everything, like, their skin routine and everything. So I am, let's say, I don't know, let's say I'm allergic to chickpeas. In Telugu, it is called sunni pindi. The chickpea flour, they actually, in like age-old India, they used to use it as a scrub and exfoliant and everything. But a person who is, it is very rare, but my kid is allergic to chickpea flour, like, right? Chana, if he eats chana, chana masala or anything, he gets eczema kind of stuff. Now, for that person, my kids, both kids, right? When they were born, my mom said, "Oh, you have to apply this chickpea flour and the do all this." But my older son, when he was born, after 11th year or something, we to give shower. My mom said, "This is how you should do it." We did it. His entire face and body became red with rashes. Oh my God, what is happening? No, we are not touching that. We are not touching that. So let's say I grew up. So my son right now, he has more tolerance to it. He doesn't get so, but it still bothers him. So he will have that allergen, whatever reaction to it a little bit, right? Now somebody tells him his favorite movie star or somebody is doing that. It's like, okay, I have to do this. I'll do this. It won't work for you. Don't just take it because it is not written in stone, right? That's like, just like that. Something worked for other people, doesn't, your favorite person does not mean it will work for you. At that time, it will seem like a good idea, but you have to be aware of what is causing, what reactions is it causing. Is it good for me or not? It is your choice. So apathy to courage. This is one sum up of how, again, we go from apathy to courage. When we become aware, right? When we become aware that we are in apathy state or depressed state, once you're aware, what is going to come up is anger is going to come up, right? You're going to be angry at us that how come I'm not handling this properly? When that anger comes up, be ready, because anger has a lot of energy. You should be ready to handle it, because otherwise what happens, actually, I know a person who has been depressed for some time. Right now, he's literally going through that next stage of anger. He said that I feel so angry, and this is coming up. And he said that I feel so angry that I feel like I'm going to physically hurt somebody. I feel so angry to all the people who made fun of me and who said things to me, who named names. I feel like I'm going to physically hurt them, go and like beat them up. When that anger comes up, it depends on how much you suppressed your depression, right? That's how much anger is going to shoot up once you become aware. Be ready to handle it and channel it. It's okay to become angry. It is much better than being depressed, but you should be able to handle the anger, because if you act on that anger, like I want to hit somebody right now, what will happen? They are going to put a case on you. You're going to go to jail. Why? You're going to lose your job if you, whatever. There will be consequences. So you have to learn how to handle that anger, right? But one good thing is, when there is a lot of anger, you can take action, you can change your mind, and you can reverse the direction. You can need not go with that anger. Anger has a lot of energy. You can take that energy and channelize it into something else, right? And from there, you can jump to courage. You change the direction and then jump to courage, that now I'm capable, right? When you come to courage, you realize that you're capable of doing things. We can see it, we can examine it, and we can observe how it all happens. When you are at courage, you are not bothered so much by negative emotions. You can have a choice to become an observer and see things and make conscious choices, right? Then you will examine. When you're examining, what you will see is it is not the external environment that led you to depression. Our smallness is what we did not realize we are capable of getting out of it. But at the same time, you will see that we were innocent. We did not know how to. We were ignorant. And when you discover all these things, you will release a lot of guilt, because when you are depressed, you are feeling so guilty that I want to do it, but I cannot do it. I want to, but I cannot. You feel so guilty. There is so much of guilt associated with depression. Once you realize all these things and you forgive yourself for, I did not know at that time, you will release a lot of guilt, right? When you release a lot of guilt, the necessity for self-punishment vanishes. Usually people who are depressed and apathetic, they try to self-sabotage, right? That will go away. The necessity to punish you will go away, because when will punishment come? When you are feeling guilty, you want to punish yourself. Anybody who is self-harming is through drugs or through whatever, right? Even they hurt themselves. Suicidal attempts, all those are because you have a lot of guilt. You cannot live with that guilt. That's why you want to harm yourself. Once you really check all these things, you will release the guilt. The need for self-punishment goes away. Then it lifts us right out of apathy and depression. That's what happens. That's how you elevate yourself, right? Blame game. When you elevate yourself, when you come out of the need to let go of that need to punish yourself and everything, right? Then you will choose to revalidate. What is my value? What is my worth? Because you are feeling worthless at that time. When you are depressed, you will feel worthless. You will feel hopeless. You will feel helpless. Once you let go of all that guilt, once you have elevated yourself, then you will choose to revalidate and say, what is my worth, right? Yes, I was depressed in the past, but what can I do now with what I have? Take what you have and do the best you can. You can actually understand that when you come to that stage of courage, right? See how others were programmed. And then what happens is, at that time, you will also see all the anger you had, that I want to hurt people who have helped led me to this situation. Now, when you come channelize it and you start observing it, you let go of the guilt and everything, you have elevated yourself, then you will see that others were also programmed just as we were in some other direction that led them to do whatever they did to us, right? Once you see that, even at that time, they did any person, anytime what they're doing, at that point, given the knowledge they have, they think this is the best thing to do. So once you come to that state, once you understand that about yourself, you will also understand that they also didn't have knowledge. They also didn't have education. They also didn't know that this is wrong to do. Once you understand that, once you accept that, you will forgive them. You will not blame them anymore. The blame game will end. You will not blame yourself. You will not blame others. You will give up the whole blame game, and the entire blame becomes obsolete. It's ineffective, right? So that is where I end this chapter today. The next week we are going to talk about the company we keep and how it helps us influence our life and our decisions and everything.